Stas23 here. In today's knife therapy, we have the Wolf Knives Javelina. This knife drops today, 2/17/23 at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Depending on when you're watching this, it might already be out. They come in 5 different variations. The one you have here with the satin blade and the camo carbon blaze orange. You can also get it with purple haze fat carbon. You can also get it in dark matter green fat carbon, Brittany blue camo carbon, and one natural canvas micarta version. This time we have a nice Sowbelly pattern. And let's get some specs real quick. You have a total length of 6.61 inches, so it's a medium to smaller range knife. You have a cutting edge of 2.6 inches, a grip area from here to the back right here of 3.5 inches, scale thickness from here to here of 0.47 inches, and the stock thickness on this particular knife is 0.118 inches. Behind the edge thickness comes in around 15 thousandths and it's sharpened at 21 degrees per side. All right, let's take a close look at this. You have this beautiful clip point blade with a ton of belly near that tip right there, which is going to be great for slicing on flat cutting surfaces and when you're trying to maneuver delicate turns around something. You have a nice satin finish, very even, clean. And if you can see up here, you have a very slight swedge up top that goes all the way down to that tip, kind of thinning the tip out a little bit. You have a single-sided nail nick there, a sharpening notch. The blade steel on this one is CPM S90V with a 61 HRC. Excellent. You have a full height hollow grind that comes down nice and thin. So this thing should perform great like all the other Wolf knives. Let's find out. The knife came extremely sharp, probably one of the best edges I've gotten on either Wolf knife so far. And so far it feels really, really slicey. You have enough straight edge before that belly to get these type of cuts done through, say, longer pieces of cardboard. That deep hollow grind, man, it slices on another level. If you've never had one like this Wolf knife, you got to check it out. They are slicing machines, and for good reason. Now we're going to just test the Ergos in this pine 2x4. Also see how well that edge wants to bite. Man, oh man, I could make super fine curls, very easy. You're not going to probably want to do this for a prolonged period because it is a thinner scaled knife and it's going to start to fatigue those forearms and wrists pretty quick. But, you know, in the pinch, you could get it done and it does a very good job. It wanted to bite deep, but I was trying to do light pressure. I did increase just to see how it felt in hand. No hot spots that I noticed. That deep belly that goes to the tip is excellent for doing these cuts on a flat cutting surface. You can get a lot of downward force into whatever you're cutting. And it was nice to see that this knife had a good bit of aggression on that edge. It always makes these tests way easier because you don't have to use as much pressure, and this one was doing rather well. The handle is fairly comfortable. Once again, it is thinner, so it's, you know, you're not going to do this for a long period of time. We ended up making 25 cuts, and it did it rather easily that we just ran out of rope, and we still have a little bit more to test after this. Once again, doing drag cuts like this, that belly's really gonna play a part, do an excellent job, and it's made short work of pretty much everything left over in this testing. Edge felt great, and of course we'll test that edge after we get done with this, but it's still feeling really good here, blasting through the rubber, no problem. Those thinner hollow grinds, man, make this type of work very easy, and it's enjoyable because it's not painful for my hands like some of the thicker behind the edge knives. The edge is still going strong, and it's really cutting everything really cleanly. And watch this blast through here. I was pretty shocked on how easily it pushed through this corner cardboard. That's some dense cardboard. It's not always the easiest to get through. And here's the test whether it still has bite, and as you can see, it still does. Now, the blue jean denim is kind of spreading apart, so that's the only reason why it looks like I'm struggling in some of them, but it's doing very well. Let's test that edge at the end of this, and this one's definitely enjoyable to use. All right, let's check that edge out after all that cutting. Yeah, still felt great. Very, very good. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at the walk and talk. Like I said, you do have a nail nick there that's easily accessible, but I like to pinch it open and you have enough blade to do so. I'm not great at putting a rating on the pulls, but my neighbor, he's a collector. He said around 6.5, close to 7. And you got a nice positive snap on the open, flush on the open, close, and in the half stop position. Nice crisp pop there. Very nice and clean. And a nice pop on the close. Very nice. Never have I had one that was sloppy or didn't, be. They're all pretty similar to their pull and that nice snap. You're definitely, you're getting top quality here. Very, very nicely done and consistent. All right, now let's take a look at the handle area. You have polished titanium hardware, Torx T10 on the pivot, and Torx T8 on the cover screws. Titanium body, fluted bolster up here in the front. And like I said earlier, you have those blaze orange camo carbon covers. They're nice and contoured, nice and comfortable. And this downward arc right here is always a recipe for excellent ergos, at least in my opinion. Tested a lot of knives on the channel. And anytime you have that natural curve, it kind of follows the form factor of your palm, making it a lot more comfortable. And then those contoured scales make it even better. I didn't have any hot spots. And of course, being that most slip joints are skinny like this in the thickness, doing prolonged cutting is going to start to fatigue your forearms, fatigue your wrist. But I think, the main thing that I use as far as, make a few cuts, put it up, and I'm good. The fit and finish is top notch like always. Absolutely no gaps. The only transition I can feel is that fluting right there. Very nicely done. Everything's nice and countersunk and flush. Of course, that spine is absolute perfection. No high spots. Perfectly done. Hafted scales. Very nice. I geek out on that kind of stuff. Just the tolerances and the fit and finish are just on another level. Very, very nice. I love the clotheslines. I like how, everything kind of goes with each other. I really love the open lines of this knife, how this arc goes like this, and it's almost like an S. Very, very nice and swoopy there, like an organic curve going. The carry comes with a nice leather slip. I always go tip up with my slips. They just fit better, I find. And they fit nicely. You can fold this down like this to get it out, pinch the sides, and it carries nicely in the pocket. I usually have a slip that has a pin and a light holder that I usually keep my slip joints in, so I don't always use these, but I do enjoy them from time to time. All right, let's get a quick weight without the slip. 2.29 ounces, so it's a featherweight. And then with the slip, you're looking at 2.85 ounces. Awesome. Now let's open it up and get a few size comparisons. We'll get two other Jack Wolf knives out here. We have the Cyborg Jack, which is a little bit longer. Let's go pivot to pivot. You can see the blade's a little bit longer. It's about the same exact size as the Jack Wolf Midnight Jack. I think it is the exact same size. Next up, we have the Line Steel Round Head and the Benchmade Proper. These are also excellent size references. Now, for my nitpicks and complaints, I'm going to be honest, I don't really have much. Maybe come out a little bit further on this because you can see a little bit, but I mean, that's not that big of a deal. And nitpick, maybe a little bit thicker on the scales, but it's a slip joint, so you know that's just a nitpick. I don't even really think that's something that really needs to be addressed or anything. Overall, this one is super comfortable and has given the Cyborg a run for its money, in my opinion. I find this one a little bit more comfortable in hand because you don't have the hump right here, even though this one, you know, still good in hand. So I definitely think if this one does it for you, you're going to be super excited, super happy with your purchase. You know, I've not had one yet that was not a great knife. Heirloom quality, something you can pass on to your kids and they can pass on to their kids. Especially these new S90V ones, man, they slice so well. This one had the best edge out of any Jack Wolf knife I've ever gotten. It had a very aggressive, toothy edge, and it was performing outstanding. That edge still feels great, of course, because it's S90V. It's gonna last longer than the M390 versions. So there you go. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. I hope everybody's having an absolute amazing day. And remember, if you want to pick up one of these, definitely jump on them because sometimes they go fast, especially these clip point versions. I noticed those usually go the quickest. I will have the links down below to these, and more than likely when this is up, it'll probably be available. So don't miss out if you want it. And yeah, I hope everybody's having an absolute amazing day. I'll see y'all on the next one.